what you're seeing here is the base template that we have, and we're going to go through that later, but we're in the process of building pre-designed themes, something that's a little more attractive, similar to what we do with WebExpress, right? So we'll have themes that users can choose from, or they can hire us to do custom work. I'm going to be jumping back and forth between the two of these, the member area and the public site, just to show off some features later. But you'll see at the top, there's a login link that basically takes you here. This is a fictitious install for a Web Executives Association. What I'm going to start is I'm going to show you there's two account levels primarily to go over, which is the members and the admins. The admins are like the people that run the association, so they're going to be adding new members, adding new companies, basically directing business, which is how Seattle Execs works and other business networks. And then so like admin members, right? So members using it, admins setting it up. Or events, any announcements that were sent out by the admins, as well as your latest referral business. So if you're not familiar with Seattle Execs or business networking in general, the goal is you are joining this group. You have one classification per organization, and you try to do mutual business and refer leads to other members, just trying to support each other and grow your business. So referrals are those leads, the business you're sending to other members to help them out. And then of course it's reciprocated. So what you're seeing here is Dilbert Gomez's latest referrals. These are things that were sent to him, and we'll go through this in detail, but these are the latest 5. Breaking down the anatomy of this website a little bit, there's 2 navigations. The top navigation involves everything specific to Dilbert's business, right? So he can submit a referral, he can view his referrals, he can manage his business profile, he can check notifications that pertain to him. So this would be referrals sent his way, announcements sent, new events created, things like that. Think Facebook in terms of interaction. It's very similar. And then the profile photo at the top lets you manage settings and logout. We're going to go through all this in a little bit. The side navigation here is everything that is available to everyone in the organization. So if you're a member, everything over here is public. This is what everybody has access to. It's kind of the hub of the organization. What I'd like to do first is I want to go through the referral submission process. This is a pretty key component of it. Being able to submit a referral quickly and easily is important to the organization. Previously, when we were working with Seattle Execs, sometimes they were members were submitting via email or printed lead sheets and things like that. And Seattle Execs management team would go in and they would add the referrals for other members. So that is still existing. That's an admin feature. But the hope is that members will log in and submit referrals themselves. So if you click submit a referral, first you choose who you're sending it to. You can send a referral to everybody in the organization or an individual member. We have a drop down here that lets you type a specific member or select them from the drop down. Of course, bigger organizations are going to have lots of members. Seattle Execs is over 100 members, I think, or pretty close to 100 members. So that would be a lot to scroll through, but you could type a name, select it, and there you go. Referral types, these are dynamic. These are defined by the admin. So once we get into the admin account, I'll show you how to set that up. This may vary depending on organization, but this was made to match Seattle Execs a little bit. We have general referral types, and then we have a tooltip explaining that. Introduction requests, direct referrals, and mutual business. So let's go ahead and send mutual business from Dilbert to Zishan. You'll notice the required field changes depending on if it's mutual business. In the case of mutual business, that's just you're doing business with another member, so there's no additional contacts. That's not required. But if you're sending them a direct referral, of course, contact name becomes required. We have additional fields hidden here: email address, phone number, address, etc. We've hidden those just to keep the form rather straightforward and simple. The old Seattle Exec system had just a dump of form fields, which could be a little overwhelming for some users. So we want to make sure it's as simple as possible. Let's go ahead and send a referral to Zishan. Let's make it a direct referral. And let's mesh a couple people's names together here. Let's mesh. Go Yoshiteru. Let's go Yoshi. We'll just give him a different name. Yoshiteru Jones.
Okay, go ahead.
Yoshi Zone bungee jumping. There we go. So we're sending a referral from Dilbert Gomez to Zishan. Then you add the details. Could use help with his business. Please contact him. And then, of course, we could throw his contact information here. Let's just give him a phone number. The last field here is whether it can be included in a public referral sheet. So with Seattle execs, what they do is they send a newsletter every week. Attached to it is a PDF with all the referral business for the week. So members of the organization know what's going on. And so if you have something that's sensitive information that you don't want in that public referral sheet, you could deselect that. But in this case, I think this is totally fine. We'll submit that. And that's it, referral sent. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Next, we can go to My Referrals. So it's broken down into two categories, incoming and outgoing. Incoming being referrals sent to Dilbert, outgoing meaning referrals he has sent. You'll see here this new referral to Zishan about Yoshiteru Jones's bungee jumping company. It's showing up there. Anytime you see the blue arrow here, you can click it to get more details. So this is kind of a breakdown of that referral. We have a go back button. We have some advanced options too. You can define a date range for your referrals. You can filter it by referral type, because you remember we were choosing direct referral. You could filter it by mutual business to see mutual business. There's no introductions, things like that. So there's a way to kind of filter it and change the options if you're looking for specific data. Again, same thing works with the incoming. Next is your business profile. So as I mentioned, this is something that a lot of services don't have, is they just list all their members in a member directory, but we've actually created individual member profiles. You can add as much or as little information as you want, of course, except company name, but we always encourage people to fill this out. This is an SEO benefit, right? So you have your own website that showcases your business, but if you have other websites linking to you, that's good for your SEO. So in this case, this is a search engine optimization benefit for members. The old Seattle exec system just had a blank text area. You could put whatever you wanted in there. We've added some rich formatting options here to style the content a little bit more. You can add your company logo. So in this case, Fix and Go Collision Care, it has their little branding here. And you can add your social media networks. We go to the public side, there's this member network page. We find Fix and Go. Here's that profile. Here's the contact information, a link to their website, and the members that are a part of that organization. Next up, again, is the notifications. This is very similar to Facebook, right? So you'll see that these are referrals that were sent to, in this case, this member sent a referral to Dilbert. Dilbert could click this referral here, see those details at any time. If you need to clear all the notifications or view all of them, you can click See All. This has a running history of all the notifications that pertain to you. Go ahead and mark all those as read. Clear that bell if you're a little OCD like me. And next up is your profile. So click your name or your photo, click settings. Members can add their profile photos here. We have a cropping tool to set a square aspect ratio image just for a more uniform look. We have, of course, contact data points, and we have email notifications. So for everything that pertains to you, this little notification bell will have an update, but we do give users the ability to turn on or off email notifications for certain things. Incoming referrals, announcements, when files are added, new events being created, and election polls opening if you're using the election system. Time zone is set, and you can customize your password here. We use our standard password requirements for the system. At any time, if you want to get back to that dashboard, you can click this logo here. Here you go, back to the beginning. It's the same as the home button here. Next up on the list, we're going to start going through this side nav, which is public information for members. So what we have at Seattle Execs 2 is a physical member directory. It's a booklet with all of the members and their contact information. A lot of members really swear by it as a means of trying to find contact information for a specific member. It did exist in the old website, but it's made better in this website. So clicking members here gets you to all of that member information. We've made contact information more visible than the old system. So if you have a phone number or an email address defined, you'll see all that at a glance when you come to this page. We have a way to export all of the V cards if you want to import that information into your email client. And we have a way to filter based on member type if there are multiple member types. Same thing again with the blue arrow. If you want to see complete profile details, you click that arrow. You get a picture, you get the individual V card, and you get contact information and the company they belong to. Click go back if you need to, find another member. You can search by name or company. So that's one way to find members. Another way, say you don't know an individual member's name, but you know that there's a specific company you want to work with, you click companies. We list out all of the company names here, the members that belong, and the classification that they cover within the organization. So remember, there's only one classification per association. So you can go ahead and click this to see their profile. Here's the profile information. Here are a couple of quick access points to get to those members if you need to find an individual member's contact information. And then this has a filter for searching by city. So because Seattle Execs kind of covers a broader area, right? If you need to find somebody on the east side, you could click that, find members on the east side. Next up is the event calendar. So Seattle Execs was using a Google Calendar previously, which meant that anytime they wanted to update it, they not only had to log into the Seattle Exec system to manage Seattle Exec stuff, but they also needed to log into Google and manage their calendar separately. So we've gone ahead and fully integrated that. That's within the system now. They can do everything from one place. This is what members will see. So Seattle Execs has weekly meetings every Wednesday. You can click this to see the details about that, get information, links. So if you have open houses or just different, golf tournaments or special events, those would be added here. And you can go through the calendar and find specific data like that. Next is the announcements. So if they have if say a member's having a sale and they want to promote it to other members, they might ask the office to say, hey, can you please let people know we're having a sale this weekend? Come by, blah blah blah. Special guest speaker announcements in this case. So these announcements are sent. The notification bell will be updated. If you have email notifications turned on for announcements, you will get an email regarding that new announcement. Basic detail, you can add an image, add details. It's fairly straightforward. Similar to files are just organization-specific files. So if they have membership applications, bylaws, if they have any other data they want to share that they can drop in here, members can click the download button to download that file. And last is the contact office. So it's just a quick way to get direct office contact information and email them directly from the system. Pretty straightforward. It's a standard contact form. So that's a member account. That's everything that a regular member is capable of doing within the system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log out and I'm going to log into an admin account. All right, so admins are the same as members. They have the same abilities. So everything I went through for members, admins can do as well, but you'll see two additional options. They have this admin tools link and they have this flag here. The flag is for previewing publishing website updates, similar to WebExpress, right? You update your website, you get it looking the way you want it to look on the preview version, and then you publish it to go live. When you make updates to that, this flag will turn green. That lets you know that there's unpublished changes that you want to go live with. And we'll get to that in more details in a second. Okay, so this is where the heavy lifting is done within the system. There's two sections here. There's organization management. That's used for managing things within the member area. So adding new members, adding new companies, things like that. We'll go through that real quick. And then this whole section down here is the web builder component. Company management, pretty straightforward. It lists all the member companies. Again, same filters. You can edit or remove companies from the organization. You can add new ones. So there's some specific requirements, right? Classification, company ID, company name. The rest of this is pretty open. But this data here that's filled out will populate that company profile that we viewed over here, right? So that's how you just get them started. Members, of course, can update their own company profile in business profile. But as an admin, when you add new members, you want to set them up in here. And then same thing with members. Members need to be added. When you add them, you put them in a specific company. So the first thing you do is you add a company. The second thing you do is add a member to that company. We also have a way to log in as a member. So if you need to access a member's account for whatever reason, admins have that capability. Are you sure you want to log in? And then you click yes. In this case, I'm not going to do that. Organization settings. So of course, that's the name of your organization. That's what shows up in the top title bar. The logo, that's the logo that appears here. It's also the logo that will appear on the public website if your theme supports it. So again, we're building up the themes. We don't have those yet, but they will be coming. Contact office email address, that is the email address that receives anything sent through the contact office form. And then referral submission email address. So when two members send referrals between each other, the office likes to be notified of that. So they also get a copy. So this email address here will get a copy of any referral two members send. So they'll just be aware of that. And then of course, general time zone for things that you're posting and announcements and things like that. These are the referral types we talked about earlier that show up in the submit referral form. As an admin, you can add a referral type. You can choose whether it applies to all members or to individual members. And then description, this is what shows up in the tooltip. If you hover over the tooltip to know specifics about the referral type. And then of course, contact name is not required. So this is the case where if it's mutual business, you probably want to check this because the members are the contacts. You cannot delete the default referral type for individual or all members. So you have to have at least one. So these just can't be removed. So we have tooltips explaining that. You can rename them or do anything else with that, but you just can't delete them. We have to have something in there. And then member types, you have to have at least one member type. Again, that's why this one can't be deleted. But here you can have alternates. Executive is just a made up designation. But for Seattle execs, there's 3 different member types. So we have a way to create those member types and filter them in the member area and things like that. Board positions. So as an association, they all have elected board members. This is where you would configure all of those board positions you have. This is likely something you set up one time and then you leave it and then you manage your board members separately. But this is just for creating your board positions. It's just a simple board member name. There's nothing else to that because you use everything else in the board of directors section, and we'll get to that shortly. Shortly as in now, board of directors. All right, so the board of directors is basically, they'll do well, I guess each organization could be different, but say you do elections every 6 months. After an election, you need to reassign your board members. Your board members are public facing. So we have this board of directors page. These are all the board members. So we display all of that here. You can rearrange the board members as you need to. And you'll see that's reflected there. We'll keep the president at the top, so it's drag and drop. You can edit the board member in terms of changing who is in a board position. Let's put Lance in it. So Lance is now president. But he's not ready yet. So Lacey Ann is back to being the president. So it's pretty quick, pretty easy to update. We had a problem with the old system where it was very clunky to manage board members. There was no drag and drop system, and you had little arrows you had to click to move things up and down, and it was a bit of a headache. All right, referrals. So members can see referrals that involve them. They can't see referrals that involve other members, if that makes sense. So the admin, on the other hand, they can see referrals from everybody. Like I said, they'll get emails when a new referral is submitted, but they'll also be able to manage all of that here. So they can see all the referrals. We have the referral type filter. We have the date range filter. And then, of course, you can click to see individual details. But we have a running log of everything in the system, so they can always look at that data. And that referral sheet I talked about previously. So here you go. You'd see a referral sheet. You would set the date range. You could get a printable version. In this case, it would be a PDF that you export and you attach to the newsletter. Not all organizations would probably do this, but it is something that Seattle Execs does. So we built that in here as a stand-up feature. Statistics. We've given a base level amount of data for things. We're able to see which members are active online by this week and last week. We might add more features in the future, but right now there's not that much data to manage. Referrals by type. So a running log of all of the referrals. You can see the breakdown of what type of referrals are being submitted within the organization. And we also have referrals by company. So these are all the referral types. This scrolls sideways, but you can see each organization, how many referrals they're sending, how many they're receiving, and you can export that data. So as a director of an organization, that's really useful data when you're trying to understand how well your organization is working from a business standpoint. Event calendar. So this looks identical to the event calendar on the side with one exception. There's the add event button up here. You can click that and add a specific event. You can choose whether to notify events or notify members before the event. So that would just be like a notification pop-up or an email. You can define the repeating event. And then announcements. Again, this is pretty straightforward. You add your title, you add your description, you can attach files, you can embed images that are uploaded to the server. Pretty straightforward and easy. And then even easier is the file system. You can add new files. You can make files available to board members only. So if you have board specific data that's somewhat sensitive that you don't want going to all the main members, you can set it up so only the board members will see that. You can filter by file type as well. In this case, we just have this docx file. And Election Center. So this is a feature, we actually built a standalone system for Seattle execs during COVID for this because they weren't having in-person meetings. What they tend to do is they tend to do paper balloting. So for about 5 minutes during a meeting, they will have a moment where everybody submits their vote, somebody grabs them, they go and they hand tally everything together. But during COVID, obviously they were meeting over Zoom, so they couldn't do that. So we had built a digital version of that where they could log in and submit their ballots. What I can do here is I can activate this. Let's go ahead and make this one live again. So when there is an open poll, members will see this new elections option here. They can click here to vote. In this case, I've already voted. You can only vote one time per election. So I've already voted for this one. Let's set up a quick new election. Let's turn that off. You can also view the results. So let's go ahead and click that. So here you can see the complete breakdown of how the election went, who voted for who. You can export those results and you can close the poll. So they tend to keep the polls open for about 5 minutes. So you don't want to keep it open longer than you need to. But you can add a basic description of the election here, choosing a new president. We'll make it open poll. We'll notify members by email and website notification. Actually, let's just go website notification. We're going to make the president position up. The number of elected candidates, there's only one president position, so you can only elect one member. And here is where you set the candidates. So let's go ahead and let's add Dilbert to the list. Zishan. Let's add one more. Carly Simon. You can add additional positions. So if you're looking to have more elected officials, you can do that. Let's just set up the vote for president. So it's created. New election is created today. We can click to vote. So this is the description I gave, choosing a new president. I think we should elect Dilbert. He's great. Cast your ballot. Each company gets one vote. So if you have multiple members from the same company, once a vote is submitted, it can't be changed. So in this case, we're voting for Dilbert, cast ballot, and then this is what we see for that screen. The admin at any point can go and see the live results. 26 ballots were issued to members. So far, one person has voted. Dilbert leads the charge. Close that. So that's how elections work. And that's it for member management. Oh, I guess worth showing here. Here's the notification that the election is open. So all members would have seen that pop up in their admin panel. All right, so Web Builder, this is for creating your organization website, basically the whole public-facing interface. Again, this is not pretty right now. It'll look much prettier once we get some of these themes built. You can define your website settings. So this is your website title. This is your meta and open graph description. You can add an open graph image. That's for sharing it on social media. We've defined a favicon that you can see up here. In this case, I've unchecked this, allow search engines to crawl the site, because this is a demo site. I don't want it indexed by Google. But obviously, if you have a public-facing website, you want to make sure Google is crawling it. So you click that here. And then show member login link on the website. So that's what we have in the top corner here. You can either choose to show that or hide it. We have a spot for the copyright. That data will populate in the copyright field. And then we have contact information here, all of this data, as well as Google Analytics. It's just stuff that's reflected here. This base template isn't really set up to have all the contact information in the footer, but when we build out themes, all of that data will be dynamic. Whatever you add here will be reflected on your website. Same with social media links. All right, theme manager. So this is where once we start building themes, you'll have access to swap it out depending on your needs. You see Seattle execs in here. Basically, that's a fully custom theme. And I think we can sell custom development, as I mentioned earlier. If an organization wants to hire us to do the web development, our team can go in and build it. And then that theme would only be accessible by that install of Biznomos. Other members wouldn't see it. They would just see the predefined standard themes. This is the theme that's active right now. We do have some customization options you can do with the pre-built themes. We're going to let users change the font style, size, color, content. It's just some basic customization options. So if they like a theme, but they want to change the colors a little bit, we'll let them do that. By, of course, just activating it, you just click activate. All right, so I've activated the theme, but remember, you have to publish things. Right now, it's still the same. You can preview it, and this is what it will look like using the Seattle execs theme in this case. When you're ready to publish, go ahead, click publish, confirm. And now we go and refresh the site, and there you go. Now it's using this theme. Let's go ahead and activate this one. And publish it again. Back to the standard theme. We are going to let users create custom themes. So you can go ahead and create a theme. You can choose to duplicate one of our pre-built themes. Again, those aren't built yet, but they're coming. And then choose from the list to copy and name it. If you don't duplicate an existing theme, what you're going to get is this. This is the skeleton. We're basically giving them a blank slate that they can go and build a fully custom theme with base level elements. That's why you get this kind of boring looking website. It's meant to be this way, so it's easy for developers to take it and customize it themselves. Pages, this is a little similar to WordPress and WebExpress, right? So you can add pages, you can edit pages. So here's page content. We have a settings cog up here where you can choose the page visibility. We're adding the power to adjust templates too. So when we develop it, say we have a certain page that wants a 2-column layout versus a single column layout, well, we could build a 2-column template and a single column template and choose whichever one fits the page. So it creates some flexibility so web developers can build a lot more robust applications. One limitation with WebExpress is we have to do everything using custom CSS, which is just, it's basically, we take everything and then we throw more stuff on top of it, which makes it a little more bloated and difficult to work with. But this is a much more clean system. We're able to build fully custom applications. I think it's a really solid upgrade. You can set some of your search engine optimization items here, add a custom open graph image and page title and description per page. So you always want this information to be custom and unique. It's good for SEO, so each page has that ability as well. And then you can preview your changes before you save them. And then adding pages is very much like editing. And then here you define whatever the slug is for the page, and then you'd save it. We will not save that though. Navigation order, again, so this is your navigation at the top. We have board of directors here. What we can do is we can pull things out. Go ahead, publish. And now board of directors is a main nav link. So we have some power here in terms of nesting items and just creating a very custom system. Image collection. So these are the images that you use throughout your website. Member spotlight. So this is basically, you see this little box down here, is we built this feature that lets the organization showcase other members. So this is another benefit for members where they can get extra exposure for their business online. So hopefully help them get more referral business and things like that. You can add as many as you want here, and these will just randomly rotate. You can embed these on any page too. So you'll get this little short code, and you can copy this code and you embed this in your page content, and the member spotlight will appear in that area. So we have some flexibility there. And testimonials. So if you add any testimonial data here, if this is empty, there'll be no testimonials page. But if you add testimonial data here, we'll have a testimonials page with a nicely styled testimonial about your organization from members. So again, this is a benefit to the executive director looking to recruit more members to the organization. This shows just, hey, the value that you get out of this organization. So it's kind of a sales tool for them. And then adding it is pretty straightforward. You choose the member, the member name for the testimonial, and then you copy and paste that content in there or write it yourself. And then open classifications, same deal. If you have no open classifications, there's no open classification page. If you add classifications, there'll be a page called open classifications where we just display classifications that organization is looking to add. So we're doing that ourselves right now as we have a membership drive for specific types of classifications we might want to have join the organization, what members should be looking out for. We'll display that there. Or say you're a company considering joining and you come here and you say, oh, I'm in healthcare services, perfect, I'm going to apply. So it's just a way to let people know what kind of classifications they're looking to recruit to the organization. You can drag and drop those to change the order. And none of that goes live until you publish it. And that is everything in a nutshell.